welcome back to the Bloom Diaries. I'm your host, Raina.
And I'm your host, Emily.
And today we're going to be talking about a juicy topic. We're going to be talking about what we find attractive or what girls find attractive in general. And so for our first question, we have, what was our ideal type in middle school, high school, and versus now? Did you want to start off?
Oh, God. I don't know what my ideal type was in middle school. I felt like I like pretty boys.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Like feminine? Like
feminine,
boys?
pretty boys. Shiny definitely influenced that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
What about you? Like, what was your type?
I think I had the same, like, ideal type because as I was really into Shiny, because that's how we also became friends, too. We were like, do you know this boy band named Shiny? And we're like, yeah. And then we just became friends off that. But I think that was so funny. My bias was Key. And I remember he had, like... he had, like, really dark, like, eyeliner. And he was very feminine. But who's your bias?
Onu was my bias, but I think Mino's my bias.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think now I'm really into Taemin. I think he's like, really handsome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really, really handsome. What about high school? Like, did it change from middle school to high school, like your ideal type, or did it stay the same?
Yeah, I think... in middle school, I tend to go for like masculine guys. You know how in high school, all the guys have like deeper voices and more like a bigger
puberty.
Build. Yeah, when puberty hit, you're just like, ooh, like what's that? You know, you kind of see how like the guys change and start to become really attractive. I think I've always been liking tall guys. And guys with like a nice smile. I feel like high school me, I was very into like looks and guys that played sports, like those kind of active guys. What about you?
In high school, let's see. Yeah, I would say the same thing too. I was more into masculine men. Definitely a lot taller. I don't think I've ever told this to anyone, but like in middle school when I was dating my ex, he was like the same height as me. I would like purposely sit under a table to make myself shorter because he was not tall enough for me.
Wow.
Please don't do that,
he was kind of short. He was kind of short.
Please don't do that because it's not worth it. Yeah, but like now, like in high school, my ideal type definitely changed. I wanted taller guys, more masculine, guys who did in sports. All my crushes in high school, I think I only had 2, were like in sports. So definitely sporty, more athlete guys in high school. But I don't know. I feel like it changed a little bit once I got to college, because once you go to college, you meet so many new people.
That's
people
true.
From the States, people like from all over California, come to like this one college that you're going to. So you meet so many new people, and so like sometimes your ideal type changes, or it may stay the same, but mine kind of changed a little bit, stay the same. But like in college to now, my ideal type was masculine men looking. Like just you just look masculine on the outside, but on the inside you're very sweet. You're like a very kind person. I like that, you know, in a man. So yeah. What about you? Did yours change from high school to college?
Yeah, I think... Well, okay, here's the thing. the guys that I've dated are very different from my ideal type. I feel like that goes for a lot of people. And I realized as the older I get, I've started to kind of not care about what a person looks like. It's more about their personality and the way that they treat like other people and the way that they treat me. So I started liking like the inner characteristics about how they present themselves. And yeah, I still kind of like grown towards like masculine guys, you know, with like the chiseled jaw and like very nice skin. Because I was really into K-pop and watching K-dramas, I feel like a lot of my ideal types kind of stemmed from there. Yeah, and as of right now, I think I would say I like dark hair and a guy who can, you know, treat me well. But yeah, we can move on to green flags. So what kind of green flags do you see in a guy, or like would you like to see in a guy?
That only pay attention to you. Like, I don't know how to word it, but like a man not like obsessed with you, but like obsessed with you in like in a good way, you know, and treats you right, and will literally do anything, go out of his way to do anything to make sure you're okay, you know, to make sure you're happy. I'm married now, so I just want to like give an example that like I just want to give an example about that. Justin, my husband, he went out of his way to do so many things for me. I remember when we were still dating, I got lost on my way back home, and I didn't know the area, and I was like an hour, almost 2 away from home, and my phone stopped working, and so the GPS froze, and I'm like, how is this happening right now? And I'm still on the highway. And I'm like freaking out. And then I pulled over, and then I went inside, I think a Taco Bell. And I asked the worker, I was like, can I borrow your phone? Like, I need a call. Like, you know, my mom, because my mom's the only phone number that I remember in my head. So I called her. She picks up and she's like, hello? And I'm like, Mom, I'm lost. My phone froze. My GPS stopped working. And then I asked her to ask my brother to contact Justin for me, because he was the only one that had his Snapchat. And so my brother was able to get a hold of Justin, and then I was able to get Justin's phone number, and then I called Justin. I told Justin where my location was, and when we were still dating, we were living 3 hours away from each other. So he was like he lived on the opposite side of where I lived. And so he was probably like almost home. And that's probably like an hour, almost 2 away from where I got lost. I called him. I sent my location to him. He drove an hour, almost 2, to my location. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm crying in the car. And then he's like, let me fix your phone. And then for some reason, my phone was like, okay, like nothing happened to my phone. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to my phone. And then I was like, okay, it seems to be working. I'm going to go home now. You go back home. I'm so sorry. I made you drive an extra 1 to 2 hours to come check on me to see if I'm okay. You can go back home now. And he's like, no, I'm following you all the way back home, and just to make sure you get back home. And so he followed me 1 to 2 hours all the way back home, made sure I arrived safely. And once I got to my door, he's like, okay, you go inside. I'm going home now. And I'm like, but that's 3 hours away. And he's like, I have work tomorrow. Like, I'm going to go. And then I'm like, I feel so bad. And he drove another 3 hours. So that was like 5 to 6, almost 7 hours of just driving. Yeah. And he just did all of that to make sure I was okay. And that is a huge green flag, definitely for me. Like, he will do anything out of his way to do anything to make sure you're okay and to make sure you're happy. So,
honestly,
sorry, that was like a long story, but like I wanted to share my experience and an example of what I mean by that.
Yeah. I think it's a good side of him, and you know, I'm happy that you're with him, and the fact that he will do anything for you shows that he's a keeper.
Yeah, definitely a keeper. What about you? Like, what are your green flags?
I think someone who is willing to take care of you, not like feeling an obligation to, but because they want to. Like, there's this one time I was dating this guy and I was sick, and he actually understood what I was going through, and then he went to go buy some medicine for me. I mean, I think that's like the sweetest thing, but then it's very like normal. Like, no, of course you should be taking care of someone who's sick, you know. There's just so many different types of guys out there that have different personalities and characteristics and how they present themselves. I would say another green flag is if he keeps the conversation going, and if he's not dry. Like, I cannot stand it. I cannot stand like talking to dry guys. I feel like they have nothing to say, then they're probably just not interested in you enough.
Yeah.
But if they try to keep the conversation going, no matter how long you've been dating for, I think that's a green flag. I also think if he keeps his hygiene up, like, I just think that's really nice.
That's very, very important.
Yeah, like, I've dated this guy where he doesn't brush his teeth often, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, yeah, it was disgusting. We got in a fight because
you guys got in a fight because
he didn't brush his teeth.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just think it's just disgusting, first of all, but it's like, you know, it's like common knowledge, you know. I feel like you should brush your teeth if you want to impress a woman.
Yeah, like, if you want to impress someone, look your best. If you want, you know, a beautiful woman, you have to look your best as well, you know? Yeah. But a lot of guys don't think that way. It's like a lot of men that don't look great wants like a really good looking woman. I'm like, you're not gonna get that unless you take care of yourself, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
definitely.
It goes, yeah.
But,
wow.
But we can get into red flags.
Oh, God.
Since that kind of opened up the doors for the red flags.
Red flags. Okay, red flags. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I don't like guys who slide into girls' DMs on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's annoying. And that's just, it's like, if they slide into my DMs, I know they're sliding into other girls' DMs.
Oh, that makes sense.
Well, like, that's like, yeah, just like talking stages, you know, that's something to look out for. Like, if they like to DM girls on Instagram, I don't know. That's just me. But another one is if they have a girl best friend. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's like that girl definitely likes your man. So stay away from men who has girl best friends. That's just me because I went through it, you know, personally. So just be careful of that.
For me, smoking. I just can't stand the smell of smoking. Or like tobacco or tobacco products. I think that's a red flag for me because not just the smell, but I mean, some people think it's cool to smoke, or just because like other people are smoking that they want to look good too. Also, besides like the lack of hygiene, maybe like the way that they treat other people. Like, you can kind of see how their character is.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like a super nice person, but then, you know, you should have some respect and courtesy when you like meet people in general.
Going to restaurants is a really good way to test that. So if you go on the first date, go to a restaurant and test and see if they have good manners or not.
Oh yeah, like watch if they leave a tip or something, or how they treat the waiter or waitress. Like I think that's really important to look out for. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like other red flags. I'm sure there's other red flags,
a lot.
but I just can't think.
Oh, I know one where this guy, like, he leads you on and he's just like, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship, but I just want to keep talking to you and see where it goes. Like, I hate guys who wants, like, situationships and they just want that kind of, like, relationship, but then, you know, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's a huge red flag. Yeah, because I've met a guy like that before, and I'm just like, what the heck do you want from me? And he's just like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. He told me that. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So I dropped his ass. So just really, I was just like, dude, he didn't know what he want. And I just think that's a red flag if he's just wasting your time.
Yeah, that's also another red flag. If he's just wasting your time and he's just talking, he doesn't know what he wants, he's unsure. No. Like, a green flag in a man is he knows what he wants and he will go for it. He'll do anything to get you, you know? Yeah. So that's a green flag. But red flag is if he doesn't know what he wants and he's just playing around, then no, that's just a waste of time. I don't like it when men get too controlling over you.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had that experience, but it's definitely not a good look. You know, like, I know Justin, he's not controlling. He lets me go wherever I want, just as long as he has my location and just to be safe, you know? So that's understandable. But the constant, you know, phone calls, text messages, like, where are you? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And all that. Like, I think that's unattractive. It's like, please let me be, you know? Like, I'm not doing anything that's bad. Yeah. You know? So I think that's also a red flag, just being a little too over controlling, you know? Yeah. Do you think jealousy is a red flag? Or
depends on what they're jealous about. Like, if they're overreacting to is a waiter smiling at you or something, then that's kind of immature. It's kind of immature. But if they're jealous because another guy is treating you like as if you guys were together, but you guys are not, I would say, like, of course, he has the right to be jealous.
Sometimes I joke around. Like, the other day I pulled out some of the TAN photo cards and I was like, oh, and like, oh yeah, the other pictures, and like Justin was sitting behind me and he like took them from me and he's like, he was just pretending to be jealous. Like, we just do that. But sometimes he gets jealous and he gets sad whenever I talk about my K-pop boys, but he has to know that I am a fan. I don't like them, you know, like, as a person. Like, I like them like as an idol, not like someone of interest, you know, a person of interest. So but he understands that, but sometimes he just gets a little teeny tiny about it. But yeah, it really just depends. If they're like how you said earlier, if they just got jealous because the waiter smiled at me, like, or I don't know, being too overprotective, like a guy, like, I dropped like my phone, a guy picked it up for me,
Yeah. You can't be like, oh yeah, why don't you go talk to that guy who picked up your phone? I hate it when you're talking to a guy and he's just like, oh yeah, why don't you go like marry this guy or whatever. Like the way that they talk about it when they get jealous, it's just so funny. But you know, I feel like that's kind of immature at times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another red flag, going back to if they have a girl best friend, them choosing the girl best friend over you, the girlfriend, that is a red flag. I had a friend who went through that, and I'm sure it was really difficult to watch and to hear that coming from, her ex.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a red flag to watch out for, because that's not someone you want to be with forever. If they're constantly choosing another woman over you, their girlfriend, that's just how that's not right. And that's just how you know that if you guys ever get married and you guys get in an argument because of this girl best friend, he's just gonna leave you, or he's just gonna keep choosing her over you constantly, like over and over. And so yeah, don't let another man don't be with a man that chooses another woman over you.
Yeah, you should be a priority.
Definitely. You should be their top priority. Men that are too friendly, quote unquote friendly, too friendly.
What do you mean by
too
that?
Nice? Well,
like too nice to other girls.
That's a red flag. I mean, they can be nice, to girls. I don't care, but there's a difference between being nice and being quote unquote too nice to other women. I've definitely experienced that in front of me. We had this guy in college, and he was dating this girl, and he was like, he would see me and my friend a lot. Like, I don't know, I think it was like after class, and he would also had like a break time, between classes, and we would see each other in the cafeteria, and he would come sit with us, and we would just talk. But he would be really, really nice, or he would play around with my other friend in front of me. And like at first I didn't speculate anything, but then my friends started telling me like, oh, he's too nice, like he's way too nice to me, like, or too friendly, and in a way like flirting,
in a suspicious way.
Yeah, he was sus. and I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's just being friendly, maybe he's just playing. But then like my friends are like, no, like he's suspicious, it's sus that he's acting this way. He would like push me, he would like just poke me around and like be playful like that. And then I didn't hear about this guy for a really long time until like a year ago, that they actually broke up because he cheated on her.
What?
Yeah, he cheated on her, his ex-girlfriend. So yeah, that is a red flag. If a guy's too friendly, too playful to you, stay away. And if they have a girlfriend and they're being too playful around you, and if they have Tinder and they have a girlfriend, I've definitely seen, that's totally not right. Like if you are on Tinder and you see this guy on Tinder and they match with you and they have a girlfriend, that is a red flag. Like my friends and I definitely witnessed that when we were on Tinder.
What the heck? I mean, I feel like there are people out there doing that, those kind of things. Yeah.
So definitely watch out for guys like that.
We've talked a lot about red flags. What about any more green flags?
Yeah, let's go back to green flags.
Oh, if he wants to like spend time with you, like doing the things that you like to do, like watching K-dramas with you, like he doesn't know how to cook, but then he wants to make you a meal. I think that's really sweet.
That's cute. He's willing to learn and do, you know, like maybe so that he can do it with you, I guess. Like maybe you like painting and he wants to try do painting sessions with you, so he would try to learn that. Or if you really want like this crochet little plushie, he probably would try and make that for you, or a crochet blanket. He would do stuff like that for you. I think that's really cute. That's a green flag. It means that he's willing, you know, to try and learn and to make things or do things to make you happy, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's really cute. Really, really cute. Yeah. But there's sometimes where, like, I know for me, I really like K-dramas. I like to watch those stuff. And I listen to K-pop a lot, but on Justin, he does not like K-pop, he does not like K-dramas, and he will not watch it with me. So it just kind of depends, and I totally get that because he's told me that, like, you can't force me to watch something I don't like.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And that's totally understandable. But that doesn't mean that he's a red flag because he doesn't want to watch all these things with me. Yeah. But it's just, you know, he doesn't like it.
He just has his preferences.
Yeah, he has his own preference, and that's okay. But I think it's cute still. Like, you know, when guys try to understand, like, or learn what you like and what you like to do. And he tries, you know.
Going off of that, like, I like it when a guy respects you, you know? Like, for example, at the end of a date or something, he asks you for a hug instead of just going for it, you know? He'll be, like, just making sure that you're comfortable with him asking for a hug. Yeah, but I think another example would be, like, if, like, you want to learn something new, like learn the guitar, and he knows how to do it, he'll teach you about it. Like, I think that's really nice how, like, guys can be respecting and, like, willing to, like, teach you stuff.
Yeah, like, okay, going based on that, too. Like, you mentioned how, like, if they ask you for a hug, that's really respectful. Yeah. That just reminded me when my husband and I went on our first date, he asked if he can kiss me. He asked. Cute. He didn't even go in for it. He was like, "Can I kiss you?" Or like, "Oh, you know." Yeah. And then I'm like, "Oh, like no one's ever asked me that." But like, it just shows how like gentleman-like he is. Like, if he has to make sure like you're okay with it, you know, just asking for consent, respecting your answers, like that's definitely a green flag to look out for. If he constantly, like, you know, tries to push it, you know, and you're like, no, I don't want it, but they're like, come on, like,
oh my gosh, that reminds me of middle school. I mean, obviously, we were really small. Remember, there was this guy that liked me in middle school? He would just come up to... Okay, the most annoying thing is I had class with him, like almost every single class with him. And every single class, he would try to hug me. But that's just really weird. And he wouldn't even ask for consent. Like, he just goes on ahead and hugs me, but he just, like, does it to me only. You know, he's not, like, a hugger to other people. So I just feel like that it weirds me out. That happens, and not asking for consent is just kind of rude, you know? Yeah. Especially if you don't even want a hug, or if you don't like that person romantically. It's just not, it's not right, and it's just kind of like forcing upon the girl.
Yeah. Have you ever meet those guys in high school where they're like, when you're saying bye and they're like, or like when they see you, they're like, hey, blah, 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 and they're like, where's my hug? Where's my hug?
Oh my gosh, there's always those kind of guys. They're either like Asian or they're like Filipino, or they're like,
oh my god,
they're like guys that play like football or something. I feel
football guys. I hated football guys in high school. Sorry, like
you just had to let that out.
I just had to let that out. I hated football guys in high school. I don't know, something about them just annoys me, and they're the worst guys you'll ever meet. Like football, like high school. Like I just did not like that. And it was always annoying. Like we had this guy in our Hmong class, and like every time like we would, head to class it was like the class after lunch, I think. And we would head there, and then he would like see all like the girls that he like likes, quote unquote likes.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be like, hey, like, where's my hug? And then I'm just like, please shut the fuck up. Like, shut up, please. That's so annoying. He says it like every single day. And I'm like, no one wants to hug you, but we're just being nice, I'm like, those are the guys that I hated in high school so much.
I feel like there's a lot of touchy guys in high school that they try to like, yeah.
Definitely perverts.
Red flag guys.
Oh yeah, that was a red flag. We were supposed to be talking about green flags. Oh my gosh. This is how much we hate men.
We just had a lot of different experiences. That's all.
Know. Yeah, but let's see. What's another red flag? If he likes kids. Like babies. I think that's sweet. And like, Justin definitely likes kids. This whole green flag thing is just me talking about my husband, really. My husband's a great guy. Like, he really likes kids. So, guy who likes kids and, plays really well with kids and get along well with kids is a green flag.
Another thing is if he tries to get along with your family or your parents. I think that's a green flag because it shows that he's interested in you enough to want to be a part of your family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think him remembering the little things that you say, like for example, like for example, if you would say like, oh, I like tulips and the color purple or something like that. Like he'll get you like tulips for your birthday or something, and like he'll remember your favorite color and just little things like that. I think that's really meaningful.
That just made me remember something. Okay, so in middle school, we're going back to middle school now. in middle school, when this was my first boyfriend, okay? Do you remember my first boyfriend? Okay, so I remember, like, at that time, I was so obsessed with Taeyang from Big Bang. And I was so obsessed with, like, Taeyang and, like, his song Wedding Dress and, like, I Need a Girl. Like, those songs were, like, classic. Those songs. I remember telling my friends, like, oh, I like Taeyang. Like, Taeyang's really cute. He's really handsome. And then I don't know who friend or, like, I don't know who it was, but I think a couple of you guys told him that I really like Taeyang. And the next day, he showed up. He showed up the morning. He had a haircut just like Taeyang's hair.
Oh my god!
He came in with the mohawk, like the Taeyang, little mohawk.
The iconic mohawk.
Yeah, he came to school that morning with his haircut like that, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, he got the Taeyang haircut, Emily!" And I'm like, "What?"
That is so cute, though. In middle school,
yeah. That was really cute. I thought that was really cute. Thinking about that was adorable. But yeah, he was a really sweet guy, and just little things like that, like me liking Taeyang. He went out of his way and cut his hair.
That's
is a big change. That is a big change. Like, who knew? Like, oh, I like Tae. And then he goes home like, I'm going to cut my hair and look like Tae the next day for I'll be her new Tae. Yeah, that's just one thing that reminded me. Just little things that they remember. Like, you know, cutting their hair to look like Tae for you.
Yeah.
I think that's sweet. I think that's cute. So this comes to the end of this podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you guys have any green flags or red flags that we did not mention in this podcast, definitely leave it in the comment section. We would love to know what your green flags are and what the red flags we should look out for. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. Make sure to watch this episode on YouTube and make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And we'll see you guys in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.